Hey, what's up, everyone? I thought I would do either one video series or a few video series covering each of the MyListing demos and just going through the process of modernizing them. Now, to be clear right up front, I do not recommend you use the MyListing demos in a production environment. If you are learning MyListing from scratch, then using the demos in a staging environment, a testing environment is absolutely fine to learn from, and then have your production website pulled up on another screen or whatever, and then build your website, by referencing the demos. Okay, that's one way where I do recommend the demos. Okay. However, again, I do not recommend the MyListing demos in production for a number of reasons. Um, they're not. One is they're not modern. You'll see here in a bit, and by modern I mean they're not built according to best practices any longer on the Elementor side of things. So we're going to look at that firsthand. The other thing is they're just out of date. They never really were that great. They were super basic in my opinion, which we'll talk about. The other thing too is that if you're new to MyListing and you're coming in and you install a demo, I see this all the time, you typically create more work for yourself. You think that it's going to save you a lot of time, right? Because it's a demo. You import all of the data and the design and everything, and off you go. But the problem is that if you don't know MyListing, you've got all of this stuff in there, and it looks like it's working and there's not a lot of work for you to do, but you have a major uphill battle still ahead of you in configuring them. And it gives you this false sense of, I'm 90% of the way from launching my MyListing website because I've got the demo installed. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Okay. So we'll look at all of that here in this video series. As I do with all my stuff, my videos, I'm just going to hit record and we're going to publish whatever comes out. So if you are looking for a quick 1, 2, 3 tutorial video, that is not what this is going to be. This isn't what this is going to be. I've had people in the past say, "This is too long. Like, shorten this. I just need the cliff notes. Give me the 1, 2, 3 steps." That's not what this is. We're going to go through this together as long as it takes, right? And there's going to be some situations where I'm in the design process and I'm not going to keep you going through the whole entire design process. Like, say we're modernizing the homepage. If it's taking a bit of time, I'll just say, hey, I'm going to continue on building this out and let you guys go. But the main thing is I'll give you guys the high level concepts and show you where the MyListing demos are not modernized, and then how we go about modernizing those. Okay, at a high level, rather than you sit and watch me through an entire video redesigning a page, because you just need the high level concepts, right? Okay, so modernizing the MyListing demos. The agenda is, number one, we're going to peel back the curtain on the MyListing demos, just show you what they're all about, how to install them, all that sort of thing. We're going to modernize the demos. Elementor introduced containers in August of 22. That's almost 3 years ago now. But when we look at the MyListing demos, you'll see that they are still using the old sections and columns, which is going to slow down your site for one. And at the time of this recording, Elementor 4.0 is going to be coming out any moment. And who knows what that's going to cause. But the main point is, if you install a MyListing demo, you're going to be further and further behind trying to catch up to everything. You're going to have redo everything. So that's one of the reasons I don't recommend using the MyListing demos. The third part of this is we're going to productize the modernized demos. So creating starter site kits that you're used to me creating if you've seen my work. So creating starter site kits from the work we do here in these video series. Producing Elementor templates from what we're doing here, CSS packages, new listing types potentially. We're going to productize. We're going to squeeze out all of the products we can from this to help people build MyListing websites faster and cheaper. So in this particular case, we are going to use Elementor, just the free version. We're not going to get into the pro because the MyListing demos use the free version. So I want to do like an apples to apples thing there where we're only using the free version of Elementor. Okay. We're you're going to get education out of this, like converting sections to containers to make it more modern. That's going to speed up your website. That is without getting too far into the weeds, just you guys can Google it, look it up, go to talk to Elementor about it, whatever, talk amongst yourselves, go in the MyListing Club community. We can talk about it, but the old sections and columns are not only slower as far as performance on the front end of your site, but also it's just not a great way to build. There's a reason they converted to containers. Okay. It's not just faster. It's just better, easier for design. And again, like I said, we're going to do this all in Elementor's free version. So any templates that come from this will be free because they're built with the free version of Elementor. Okay. So there's some things I left out, but that pretty much covers the agenda. Now, with that said, before we dive into this, I don't recommend the MyListing demos, and instead I recommend either the top level is going with a starter site from the MyListing Club. This is the Canvas starter site in light mode, and then we have the dark mode version, okay? That includes Elementor Pro. When you go and you buy the starter site, it includes you're a client of mine for life at that point, and you get an Elementor Pro license amongst all kinds of other premium licenses for stuff, okay? So while in these demos, we're going to focus on and use the free version of Elementor. If you're going to go and do all this and spend money, like I highly recommend getting a starter site and just be done with it. You're going to get all of that licensing, all of the design ready to go for you to come in here and make your changes as you want to a modern version of MyListing. Okay. Everything that I've done in these sites is 100% container based. There's no sections, there's no columns, all of that's gone. So this is going to be way more performant than the demos. Okay. You got to think about how much your time is worth, how fast you want to launch. Look past the price tag of the Canvas starter site, which is still incredibly inexpensive for what you get. You have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to have somebody build you this website, this MyListing starter site from scratch. Okay. I just implore you to think about that. Think of the premium licensing you get over and over again each year. It's just an immense value. Okay. You don't have to get that MyListing demo in there and then spend hours, days, and months tweaking it to get it to the level of these starter sites are. Okay. So I just implore you to think about how much time it's going to take and what your time is worth to you. Even if you're building sites for your clients, think about what you could do. Buy these, sell them for 3 times that amount. Whatever, there's lots of ways that you can go about it. If you are a website owner, you've got a cupcake cookie company and you're building a directory for suites, think about how much time this would save you to buy a starter site and then you don't have to necessarily go out and hire somebody and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a site. You would have me in your corner to help you build this stuff if you get a starter site. The next best option is to go to the MyListing Club and get the individual templates from the starter sites. Get the individual CSS packages to style the out of reach areas that you got to style by hand that you can't do with Elementor and you can't do with MyListing. So get the templates, get the CSS package. Heck, go buy one of the starter site kits. So let me pull up. Let's pull up my site here. So under resources, starter site kits, go get the entire kit that has all of the pages, right? So all of the Elementor based pages, the WordPress posts and pages, the listings, demo listings, the WooCommerce products. So that's your listing packages and promotion packages, the WordPress menu system, Elementor, all the Elementor templates used to build these starter sites, all of the Elementor site settings that are included with the site. That is another option. Okay. But even with a starter site kit, they get you a long way towards building a MyListing website, modern and fast, but the starter sites are the pinnacle. Like everything is put together for you and ready to go right out of the box. You just need to configure it for your own particular business. Okay. And then the other thing is you can go just get the individual templates if you want. They're part of a membership, or you can purchase them very inexpensively one by one. The other thing is the CSS packages, same thing. It's part of the membership. Go in and get the code you need to style certain areas of your site, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. But the starter site is the absolute pinnacle. But I understand in some cases, people whatever, maybe their budget isn't there, or they're far enough along in their site, they're scared to start over. I have lots of customers and clients start completely over. Once they see these starter sites, they just say, the heck with it, I'm starting over with the starter site, and off we go. They get that premium year after year, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of software. And it's just a no-brainer decision. Okay, so that's out of my sales pitch, but highly recommended. Okay, what is a MyListing demo? If you go to mylistingtheme.com, you're going to see these 3 demos. All right. So we're going to walk through modernizing each of these. All right. So if we click into main demo, which I'm not sure, we'll probably start with, we'll make that like the grand finale. We'll probably start with car and then work our way. We'll go to property probably, and then on to main. We'll just do it in that order because the main is the main. Like that's what they tout as their best demo, right? So we'll start with cars, which I believe was their first one. I'm not 100% sure. But all of these are built with the old design. They have not gone through and modernized any of these. Now, to their credit, sort of, this is one of the reasons I used to have, I think, 6 starter sites at one point in time, all going at the same time, available for purchase on the MyListing Club's website. It's hard to manage. It's hard to maintain all of it. You got to go through and like I would have had to go through and like update them all into containers and all of and stay on top of the updates. It's a lot. So I understand that part, but they have 3 demos here. They've got a team. They could spend the time to modernize this stuff, right? But that's why MyListing Club exists, to help fill the gaps in some of these areas. Okay. All right. So that's the demos. That's where you can get them. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to jump over into a brand new clean WordPress install. The theme's not there. There's no plugins. There's nothing. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to appearance and themes. We're going to install MyListing. Okay. We'll go ahead and activate it. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to install a child theme. I would in any other case. If it was for myself or for a client, I would install the child theme. You can check out my guides and videos for why that's the case. But again, we're just going to work from the MyListing parent theme. We have the latest version. We're now going to click begin installing plugins. And we're just going to install and activate all of the plugins, the core plugins for MyListing. So that's required here. Nothing more. No Elementor Pro, nothing else. So we're just waiting for MyListing to do its thing. In a real world scenario, again, I do not recommend Contact Form 7. I would recommend Elementor Pro Forms or some other. If you're going to use Elementor Pro, which I can't imagine building a MyListing website without Elementor Pro, which has forms capability already, I would just use that for your forms. And I've got a guide and a video on how to replace Contact Form 7 with Elementor Pro, both just site-wide and within the single listings. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. See, this is all part of the potential things you're going to face, right? Okay. Let's get out of here. This wouldn't be the case with the starter site. You're going to hear me say that a lot. It's just, you're ready to go. Okay. Let's see if it even worked. Nope. Just got Elementor in there. Let's go back, begin installing plugins, install. So I believe this used to work. Maybe this never worked, but it doesn't look like they allow you to install the plugins in bulk. So that's annoying. Okay, let's go and install contact forms. There we go. Okay, so we've got our 3, we'll call them core MyListing plugins in here to make this whole thing function, all right? So the next thing we want to do is we want to go up under theme tools and then demo import. And we're going to import the car demo. So I'm just going to click install here. Just confirm that we want to bring down the demo files. Depending on your hosting, this may take a bit of time. We have really fast hosting here. So It's going to be quick. I see a lot of support tickets and stuff for I can't get the demos to install and all that good stuff. And that's typically because somebody has really, really cheap hosting. Okay, so that was super quick. So now let's go look at the front page here, homepage. And there we go. Just like that, we have the demo. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video here, and we will pick up in another video. I'm not going to name any of these right now. Like during the process, I'll think of the titles and things as we go, and I'll create the videos at break points where I feel like it's just a good time to take a break, and then we'll pick it up. So it'll be part 1, part 2, just very general naming. Okay. Just so I don't pigeonhole myself into specific names for videos. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video of the series.